Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. General Hospital spoilers week of November 4. Sam's fatal aftermath. Danny and Scout spin out. Here comes Sidwell. General Hospital GH spoilers for the week of November 4 to 8 reveal that Sam McCall's Kelly Monaco demise will bring some crushing fallout. As the news of Sam's grim fate spreads, we'll see plenty of horrified Port Charles residents. Of course, there'll be questions about how Sam's hospital stay went so horribly wrong. It may seem like a case of unexpected complications at first, but an investigation could point to foul play eventually. G8 Buzz hints that Cyrus Renault, Jeff Kober, may be to blame for Sam's demise after putting Digitalis in her IV bag. However, Cyrus can be a pretty slippery character, so he may get away with it, at least for now. Regardless, Danny Morgan, Asher Antonisen, and Scout Quartermain, Cosette Abinant will spin out after losing their mom. So Jason Morgan, Steve Burton, and Drew Quartermain, Cameron Matheson, will have to comfort them as best as they can. Drew and Jason will be dealing with some grief as well, since they both cared deeply for Sam. Naturally, Dante Falconeri, Dominic Zamprogna, will be an emotional wreck as he tries to figure out what his future looks like without Sam in it. The same goes for Alexis Davis, Nancy Legron, Christina Corinthos Davis, Kate Mancy, and Molly Lansing Davis, Kristen Vaganos, as they struggle to cope with this family crisis. Molly and Christina will lash out at each other in the aftermath of this Sam loss, which could leave Alexis even more fed up with them. If there was ever a time for the remaining Davis sisters to band together, it's now. Unfortunately, it may take some time before Christina and Molly realize that. Molly and Christina will be angry over losing Sam, so they may take that anger out on each other, especially since they'll feel guilty over their last interaction with her being a tense one. Rocco Falconeri, Finn Kerr, Laura Collins, Jenny Francis, Lucky Spencer, Sawandi Wilson, Lucas Jones, Van Hansis, and everyone else connected to Lulu Spencer's Alexa Havens story will struggle with various levels of guilt, too. Sam's funeral services arrangements will need to be made sooner or later, so that'll bring another chance for devastation. On the bright side, we know Alexa Havens is set to make her debut as a Lulu Spencer recast at some point this fall. It won't be long until Lulu gets a wake-up call and comes back to her loved ones, but her survival will be bittersweet following Sam's fatal outcome. In the meantime, Jen Sidwell, Carlo Rhoda, should make his way to Port Charles, so Sonny Corinthos, Morris Bernard, could be in trouble if he doesn't move those diamonds fast. Holly Sutton, Emma Sams, will definitely face some backlash over the stolen bling, and that could pull Sasha Gilmore Corbin, Sophia Matson, into the danger as a result. In Port Charles, the week of November 4 brings a storm of drama to the lives of Sam McCall's loved ones. Her tragic fate leaves her family in shock, and the aftermath of her loss sends ripples through the community. Sam's kids, Danny and Scout, find themselves in dark places, grappling with feelings of confusion, anger, and loss. Adding to the tension, a new face arrives in town, stirring curiosity, suspicion, and ultimately, chaos. Monday, November 4, Port Charles is in mourning. Sam's unexpected death has shattered her loved ones, but especially Jason. He is struggling to keep it together for Danny and Scout, but guilt gnaws at him. If only he had been there, maybe he could have saved her. As he navigates through the haze of grief, he resolves to get to the bottom of what really happened to Sam. Was it really an accident, or is something darker at play? His suspicions grow when an anonymous text appears on his phone, simply reading, "You missed something." Meanwhile, Danny and Scout are caught up in a whirlwind of confusion. Danny, once so strong and protective over his sister, begins acting out at school, refusing to speak to his teachers and distancing himself from his friends. Scout, too young to understand, only knows her mother isn't coming back, and her questions haunt Jason. Alexis tries her best to comfort her grandchildren, but even she finds herself lost in the shadow of her daughter's passing. The week grows even stranger when a man named Sidwell arrives in town. Tall, dark, and impeccably dressed, Sidwell seems to know an awful lot about Sam's last days. He's immediately the talk of the town, though no one knows exactly why he's there. His presence unsettles Jason, who's already on edge, and even Carly raises an eyebrow when Sidwell approaches her with a cryptic comment about Sam's unfinished business. Who is this man, and why does he seem so interested in Sam's death? Tuesday, November 5. The tension is palpable as Sidwell begins his mysterious work in Port Charles. Curtis is the first to notice Sidwell's habit of lingering near key spots where Sam used to frequent, but Sidwell brushes it off, claiming he's in town on personal business. Curtis, never one to shy away from investigating, follows Sidwell, and what he discovers is both shocking and confusing. Sidwell has a connection to an old Port Charles cold case, one that's been kept under wraps for years. It's as if Sidwell has been waiting for a tragedy to draw him to town, and Sam's death was just the catalyst he needed. Elsewhere, Danny's behavior continues to spiral. He's refusing to go home, instead spending hours at the docks, staring out at the water. He tells his dad that he feels closer to his mom there, that she's somehow watching him. Jason realizes he's going to have to pull Danny back from the edge, even as his own grief threatens to consume him. Desperate for answers, Jason finally reaches out to Sonny, hoping his old friend can help him make sense of it all. Sonny, of course, isn't one to let a mystery rest, and he sends Brick to dig up everything they can find on Sidwell. Wednesday, November 6. As the days go on, Scout's behavior shifts. Unlike Danny, she withdraws into herself, barely speaking and clutching one of Sam's old necklaces, as if it were her lifeline. When she's not staring blankly at the floor, she's in her room, drawing pictures of her mother. But the drawings unsettle Alexis and Jason. They depict Sam in shadowed, ominous settings, hinting at a danger Scout could feel but couldn't articulate. Sensing that something's deeply wrong, Alexis decides to arrange a therapy session for Scout. Sidwell continues to create unease wherever he goes, and people begin to speculate about his true motives. At the Metro Court, Jocelyn overhears him making cryptic remarks to a woman over the phone. "Tell him the deadline's tighter than he thought," Sidwell says, a dangerous glint in his eye. Joss, curious and always ready for a mystery, tries to follow him, but he catches her in the act. Flashing her a grin, he tells her, "Curiosity killed the cat, sweetheart." Be careful. Joss is rattled, and when she tells Carly about it, her mother's protective instincts are immediately on high alert. Thursday, November 7. Curtis's suspicions lead him to dig deeper into Sidwell's past. With the help of Drew, they uncover a connection between Sidwell and a mysterious organization known only as the Fallen Shadows, a covert group with ties to organized crime and whispers of money laundering schemes. As the pieces fall into place, Curtis realizes that Sidwell's arrival is no coincidence. He's been monitoring Port Charles, waiting for the right moment to strike. Jason confronts Sidwell at the docks, demanding to know what his intentions are. Sidwell plays coy, refusing to give Jason a straight answer, only implying that Sam's death was the beginning of something greater. He tells Jason that Port Charles has been too comfortable for too long, and it's time to shake things up. His words rattle Jason, who realizes that Sidwell is more dangerous than he initially thought. Meanwhile, Ava catches wind of Sidwell's presence in town. Always eager to get involved when intrigue is afoot, she offers her help to Jason. hinting that she has contacts who know a thing or two about the fallen shadows. Jason, reluctant but desperate, agrees to let her in on his plan. Friday, November 8. The week crescendos as Sidwell's motives become even murkier. Sonny and Jason pool their resources, enlisting Spinelli to find out more about Sidwell's connection to Sam. Spinelli digs up old surveillance footage showing Sidwell watching Sam from a distance just days before her death. This revelation sends Jason spiraling. Did Sidwell have something to do with Sam's demise? Danny finally reaches a breaking point. Overwhelmed by grief and anger, he sneaks out in the middle of the night, heading to the last place he saw his mother alive. He's found hours later by Jordan, who takes him home, but not before he tells her, "Someone's watching us, just like they watched Mom." The cryptic statement sends chills down Jordan's spine, and she knows she needs to warn Jason before things get worse. The week concludes with an unexpected twist. As Jason and Sonny close in on Sidwell, they discover that Sam's death wasn't just a tragedy. It was part of a calculated plan. Sidwell's true motives remain shrouded in mystery, but one thing becomes clear. Port Charles is in the crosshairs of a dangerous game, and it's only just beginning. As the week ends, the residents of Port Charles are left reeling, the ghost of Sam's memory haunting them, while Sidwell lurks in the shadows, promising that the worst is yet to come.